What a gas tax increase means for Wisconsin drivers. We'll hear from the incoming DOT secretary right now at 10.
And a Sauk County board member being charged for child pornography. What we've learned about the case so far.
Plus, caught on camera, a hit-and-run crash leaves a teenage driver in critical condition.
From the Channel3000.com Alert Center, this is News 3 Now at 10.
Governor Tony Evers beginning his statewide tour promoting the budget he delivered to the legislature last night. The first stop at an AFL-CIO trades conference in Madison this morning, promoting his desire to repeal the state's right-to-work laws. He then went to Sturtevant near Racine to promote his education policies, stopping by an elementary school to participate in a Read Across America Day event, and later made stops in both Appleton and La Crosse. Another part of the governor's proposed budget focuses on Wisconsin roads.
It includes a potential 8-cent tax on gas, but some are pushing back against this plan. Adam Dexter spoke to the secretary-designee of the DOT today, who says it is necessary. Adam.
Yeah, Eric and Charlotte, Craig Thompson's relatively new to his position atop the DOT, and he says one of his main goals is to fix Wisconsin's roads. But not everyone is so sure a gas tax is the way to do that. Most of us would agree the roads in Wisconsin need work. Even the DOT secretary-designee says that's the truth.
The infrastructure is getting older, and you're going to pay for it one way or the other.
But when it comes to making things better, some Wisconsinites say they don't want it making things worse at the pump.
Gas is expensive enough, and unless everybody can switch to diesel, no.
Yesterday, Governor Tony Evers announced a potential 8-cent tax on gasoline, with the hopes of improving roads across the state. Today, I spoke with drivers at the Quick Trip in South Janesville to ask them what they thought of the idea. Some are a little skeptical.
Well, I think as far as I'm concerned it is, as long as that's what they exactly use it for.
Others seem to like the idea.
I've seen some hideous potholes, so I guess in the absence of tolls in Wisconsin, this could be a good way of approaching those repairs.
But not everyone.
I think instead of adding new tax on new things that are already really costly, when gas these days is a necessity since everybody has to drive to get to work and school and everything else, I think maybe there needs to be better budgeting plans with the tax that is already brought in.
Thompson says this pushback is something he anticipated.
I understand it. There should be natural resistance when we talk about raising a fee or a tax, and people should have to look at it. But I think when you look at the value proposition of what we're setting forth to do, increasing money that's going back to the locals and putting money into our current state highways to get them in better repair.
And says despite public criticism of the idea, this is something he thinks more and more people are getting on board with.
I've met with almost all the senators now, and those have been very good meetings. There's very few people that expressed any real concerns.
And Thompson says other states like Iowa, Indiana, and Michigan all also have a gas tax that's set higher than Wisconsin's would be. He says that 8-cent tax is reasonable compared to the nearly 20-cent tax that those states pay.
Adam Dexter in our Rock County Bureau tonight. Adam, thank you.
Madison Mayor Paul Soglin says the budget proposal is a great start, but it doesn't include everything he wanted to see. Yet he says if passed, he says Madison will see some positive changes, including adding to the general transportation aid to help city roads.
The increased general transportation aid that's forecasted is 10% in 2020, and Madison is estimated to receive about $10.2 million in 2019. We can only guess, but at this point we would think that would be a $1 million increase for 2020.
He also said Madison could expect to see a $1.7 million increase in 2020 because of general transit aids, which is money that goes specifically toward transit options like buses or trolleys. Mayor Soglin says they'd use extra money to replace city buses.
Today is the first day of meteorological spring, but we're about to get hit with a winter blast. Snow tonight and temperatures drop off significantly by the start of the next week. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti has our first alert forecast. Gary?
We do have some snow moving through the area tonight. For the most part, I think all the accumulating snow will be over with after midnight. You can see the back edge of the snow now approaching the Mississippi River, but it's snowing pretty steadily across pretty much the entire state of Wisconsin. A little heavier band of snow moving through the Madison area right now, where it's dropped the visibility to 1.75 miles at the Dane County Regional Airport. But notice those visibilities improving out to the south and west. So look for the snow to lighten up in intensity pretty quickly. There still is a winter weather advisory in effect until midnight for Juneau and Adams counties, as well as areas up toward La Crosse and into parts of central Wisconsin. This morning, cloud cover kept our temperatures right around 20 degrees, almost average for Madison, but to the north, where skies cleared out, temperatures were below zero. And while high temperatures today were around 30, that's still about 5 degrees below average. Right now, temperatures are in the middle 20s. By tomorrow morning, expect those temperatures to be in the middle teens. We'll see some sunshine tomorrow morning, maybe a little more cloud cover in the afternoon. Our high temperature topping out at 25 degrees. That's your News 3 Now First Alert forecast.
All right, Gary, thank you. Today's snow not having much of an impact on travel conditions tonight. Traffic on the Beltline moving at a good pace at this hour as we look at the Beltline at Park Street. We do have new information tonight about a semi-fire in the interstate. This happened yesterday near Janesville. The driver of that truck, we are told, is in critical condition. Investigators say it appears he jumped out of that semi as it was still moving and was then hit by his own truck. The fire caused major backups near that Racine Street exit. The cause of the fire and the crash remain under investigation.
A dramatic hit-and-run crash was caught on video yesterday in Sarasota, Florida, and the person who caused it took off. A hotel security camera catches a driver trying to make a left turn into a gas station, turning right into the path of another vehicle, causing that car to flip at least 4 times. The 19-year-old driver was critically injured and is still in the hospital. The van that hit him waited about 5 seconds, then took off. There is a warrant out for the arrest of longtime Sauk County Board member Bill Wenzel.
He's been tentatively charged with 5 counts of possessing child pornography. The criminal complaint released this morning describes one of those videos as a prepubescent girl performing a sex act on a dog. Wenzel has served on the board for nearly 20 years. We spoke with the board chair this afternoon, who says while Wenzel is considering his options, he has the right to serve until he's convicted.
Until proven guilty, until there is a conviction, Supervisor Wenzel maintains all of his rights and responsibilities as an elected official. That is the legal interpretation.
Now, for each of the 5 counts, Wenzel could face a fine of no more than $100,000 and/or imprisonment of no more than 25 years.
A Beloit woman has been arrested in connection with stealing a car last month with a 10-year-old special needs child inside. Police arrested 37-year-old Dawn Martinez yesterday, and she is facing tentative charges of misdemeanor operating a motor vehicle without the owner's consent and felony bail jumping. This crime happened on February 19th. Police say the car was left running on Johnson Street and stolen around 7 p.m. The child and vehicle were found about 40 minutes later. The police investigation into an incident at a Madison middle school is finished and is now being handed off to the Dane County District Attorney's Office. The Madison School District placed the acting principal of White Horse Middle School on leave after a student said he pushed her and tore out 3 of her braids. According to Police District Attorney Ishmael Ozan is now reviewing the investigative materials of this case. The parents of Otto Warmbier broke their silence today.
It comes a day after the president said he takes North Korean leader Kim Jong-un at his word that he was unaware of the American college students' mistreatment while detained in the North for allegedly stealing a propaganda poster. CBS News' Nicole Killian has the latest from the White House.
The parents of Otto Warmbier said Friday they could no longer stay silent, accusing North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and his regime of unimaginable cruelty and inhumanity for the death of their son. No excuses or lavish praise can change that, they wrote.
I have made the worst mistake of my life.
A year and a half after Otto Warmbier made this tearful plea to North Korean authorities, in 2017, the 22-year-old American college student came home to his family in Ohio in what doctors called a vegetative state. He died days later.
The latest controversy began Thursday when President Trump was asked about Warmbier at a press conference after his summit with Kim in Vietnam.
Did he tell you that he did not? Did Kim Jong-un tell you?
He felt badly about it. He tells me that he didn't know about it, and I will take him at his word.
Democrats and Republicans quickly reacted.
I'm very concerned the president didn't seem to be all that concerned about the murder of Otto Warmbier.
I support the president in his effort to denuclearize them, but I do not have a misbelief that who this leader is.
On Friday, President Trump tweeted, "I never like being misinterpreted, but especially when it comes to Otto Warmbier and his great family." He wrote, "Of course I hold North Korea responsible for Otto's mistreatment and death."
What the president was relaying is what Chairman Kim relayed to him, which is that he did not know what was happening to Otto as it happened.
Warmbier spent 17 months in North Korean detention for allegedly stealing a propaganda poster. The Pyongyang government said Warmbier went into a coma from a case of botulism and a sleeping pill. Nicole Killian, CBS News, the White House.
In December, a federal judge ordered North Korea to pay a more than $500 million fine in wrongful death fees filed by Otto Warmbier's parents.
There is no legal means to enforce the judgment against North Korea.
Washington State Governor Jay Inslee, the latest Democrat to announce a 2020 presidential bid, putting the number now at 11 candidates for the Democrats. Inslee putting the environment atop his political priorities, launching his bid at a solar installation company in Seattle today. However, a recent Pew poll shows most Americans rank climate change low on their list of priorities. Still ahead tonight, a look at our full weekend forecast with an update on the impending bitter cold.
And why the WIAA is struggling to hold on to high school reps and officials. This is News 3 Now at 10.
The city of Madison is issuing another request for proposals for a part of the Judge Doyle Square project downtown. In January, the city council reached an agreement with Beitler Real Estate to retake control of a portion of the project. The city is now looking to work with a different developer for that portion. The proposals being requested today are for the housing, commercial, or mixed-use development. Any proposals should be submitted by April 15th. Fan behavior is putting the future of youth sports in Wisconsin in jeopardy.
Every year, many officials quit because of the way they are treated by people in the stands. Longtime football and basketball referee Jim Dolce is in his 4th decade of officiating. He says in the state of Wisconsin, we have as many officials over the age of 60 as we do under the age of 60, saying 80% of new officials quit by the end of the 2nd season because of verbal abuse from the bench, but also from the stands.
Schools were having a difficult time finding people to work them. And that's one of the things that'll drive not only young officials away from the game, but it'll also drive young athletes away from the game because they see something there that they don't want to be a part of.
Parents are being told to take a step back and just enjoy the game. Dulce says schools have been forced to cancel and reschedule games multiple times.
Extreme weather this winter is piling on problems for farmers in our state. Agriculture officials are asking farmers to report storm damage, whether it's lost livestock or collapsed roofs, whatever it is. On the Fahey family dairy farm in Belleville, heavy snow caused roof damage on one of their structures. Mark Fahey says it's not so bad. No animals were hurt. He's hopeful insurance will cover it. It's just that this long, cold winter is adding to the stress of low milk prices, which the industry's been dealing with now for a few years.
It adds to it because there's so much frustration from the financial side to begin with. And then, yes, you throw in the snow and ice, everything that goes along with this winter. It gets frustrating some days, and that's where it helps to have family.
Agriculture officials are urging farmers to report any losses to their local farm service agency. So far, those in the farming community say many storm-damaged farms are to the north of us.
If you were hoping this winter's bitterly cold temperatures killed off your least favorite bug species, unfortunately, we have some not so good news for you. Entomologists at UW say because of all the snow we got this year, there is a thick layer of snow cover which gives mosquito eggs the insulation they need to survive. That's really the case for a lot of species. Bees, ants, and ticks were all protected under leaf litter and snow insulation during the extreme cold. The deadline to remove shanties from the ice south of Highway 64 is this weekend, but the amount of snow and slush is making it difficult. Up in Mosinee, they had to get creative after their vehicles couldn't make it out on the ice. They were able to put a couple of horses to work, pulling the shanty through the 3 feet of snow.
Gary's got a forecast for us, at least the next couple of days, that'll keep that ice. It'll stay frozen, Gary.
Maybe even make it a little bit more thick, too, because temperatures are going to be about as cold as they would normally be in the middle portion of January. But as we take a look at what's happening on Doppler track tonight, some snow moving through southern Wisconsin. There's a band of heavier snow right about through the Madison area right now, but it tapers down pretty quickly to the south and west. So I think most of the heavier snow will be through in the next hour or two, and probably after midnight, the snow will be coming to an end. You can see the back edge pretty much approaching the Mississippi River and heading eastward. If we look at pinpoint visibilities right now, 1.75 mile visibility in Madison, 1.25 mile in La Crosse, but notice over southwestern Wisconsin, those visibilities improving to between 5 and 10 miles, and that's the case back into Iowa. So most of the accumulating snow should be over with by about midnight, and the flurry is probably gone by the middle of the overnight hours. Winter weather advisories remain in effect until midnight for Juneau and Adams counties and areas up to the north. But again, as that snow ends, the threat for accumulating snow will come to an end. The cold weather, though, continues to be in the forecast for early next week. These are updated numbers from the GFS computer model and future track, trying to show wind chills at different times. This is 6:30 a.m. Sunday morning. Wind chills in the teens and 20s below zero in southern Wisconsin. By Monday morning, probably our coldest morning, we're looking at wind chills right around 30 below zero. And on Tuesday morning, temperatures about 5 degrees warmer at night, but still we're looking at wind chills down to about 25 below zero. Even on Wednesday morning, wind chills could be down to around 10 to 20 below zero before things start to improve later in the afternoon, and temperatures actually get up into the 20s by the afternoon. So we have alert days in the forecast for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday for those nighttime low temperatures between 5 above zero and 10 below zero. Wind chills down to 20 to 30 below zero, and then daytime highs in the single digits of teens. You can see the snow falling in Madison. That's the live view from the Edgewater Skycam. Right now, the high today, 30 degrees, the low temperature, 19. So just a little bit below the averages of 36 and 20. Most of the time this month, or through the month of February, we're a lot colder than that. 24, the current temperature with light snow falling, winds out of the east-northeast at 3 miles per hour. So really wind chill not a factor. The parade of weather systems looks like they're starting to break down a little bit. We've got one storm system heading for the west coast, another northeast of the Hawaiian Islands, but then a pretty big big gap across the northern portion of the Pacific Ocean. That's good news. It might allow the weather pattern to slow down in another week to 10 days. But in the short term, this weather system will continue off toward the east. It'll take a more southerly path and pass to our south on Sunday, bringing the potential for some fairly significant snow accumulations into parts of Missouri and southern Illinois. Our little weather maker coming through tonight really won't have much following it. So we'll take a little bit of a break, other than the fact that the cold will continue to funnel in behind this low pressure system. And notice the wind shifting around to the north. Take a look at where the temperatures are right now. Pretty cold here, 20s and teens, single digits, but you get just north of the U.S.-Canadian border and those temperatures drop off to about 10 to 20 degrees below zero. And of course, you've got snow cover through most of the northern portion of the United States. So when the winds shift around to the northwest, there's nothing really to modify those cold winds. Even though the sun is higher in the sky, that cold snow cover underneath will just keep the cold air coming in full force. So our weather system with the snow moves out tonight. Tomorrow, look for partly sunny skies. That next weather system, again, taking a more southerly track into Missouri and Illinois, and then the really cold air starts to kick in toward the beginning part of next week. So our forecast, that winter weather advisory in effect until midnight for Juneau and Adams counties. Look for a low temperature of about 16 by morning as the light snow comes to an end. Tomorrow will be partly sunny but cold, our high temperature topping out at 25 degrees. On future track, the snow moves out pretty quickly over the next few hours. We'll see some breaks in the clouds by morning. Temperatures mid-teens. Highs tomorrow mid-20s. A little more cloud cover in the afternoon, but even that should move out tomorrow night, allowing temperatures to drop into the single digits. And on Sunday, those high temperatures only in the teens. And as we take a look at the 10-day forecast, again, bitterly cold air for Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday mornings, even into Wednesday morning. But then temperatures should moderate, still below normal, but at least a little more tolerable. Could be a storm system toward the end of next weekend, bringing the potential for some snow, but that's a long ways off there.
All right, Gary. Thank you.
You're welcome.
It is a bonanza of high school playoff action tonight. We'll have highlights from wrestling, hockey, and hoops. It's all next in sports.
Well, Stoughton Wrestling captured their first team title in 30 years last year. Tonight, they start their journey for back-to-back team championships. In the quarterfinals, Stoughton taking on Arrowhead at 138 pounds. Stoughton's Hunter Lewis with the takedown. He gets the 9-1 major decision and his 200th high school career win. Then to 285 pounds, Logan Dykstra gets the first period fall. Vikings with the 50-21 victory now. To the semifinals against the Kaukauna Galloping Ghosts. Vikings Luke Melcher at 152. He gets the takedown to get the 17-5 major decision. And at 182, Brant Spildy getting the pin in the first period. And Stoughton defeats Kaukauna 45-18. They'll take on Mukwonago for the championship tomorrow afternoon. The Verona boys had to do a lot of waiting today before their semifinal game against top-seeded University School of Milwaukee. An hour-and-a-half delay thanks to the 5 overtime game before them. But a bit of a slow start for both teams. No goals until the second period. Wildcats on the power play, but Casey Ropke manages to light the lamp for the short-handed goal. University School up 1-0. Later, Sterling Cook passes to Reed Woods. He turns around, flips one into the net. 2-0 University School, and Verona's season coming to an end tonight. 5-0 the final. Wildcats ending their season with a 21-6-2 record. Earlier in the day, the Cap City Cougars against the Fox Cities Stars, representing the Appleton Xavier Co-op. Cap City down 2-0 early, but in the second, Cougars on the power play. Olivia Thompson lighting the lamp. Cap City cutting the deficit in half, but they did lose in the semifinal round, 3-1 the final. They finished their season 14-8-3. Team gymnastics tonight in Wisconsin Rapids. In Division I, Franklin Co-op taking the top spot. Memorial and Middleton rounding out the top 10. In Division II, Whitefish Bay with a 4-point victory over Mount Horeb. Dodgeville Mineral Point coming in at number 7 and Platteville Co-op at number 9. Regional boys basketball tonight. Milton head coach Kevin Bavery with his grandkids there. Cardinals hosting Janesville Craig. Raining threes tonight in Middleton. Jack Boyle to Chandon Thomas for the 3. Middleton up by 3. Later, Cougars answer. Sev Bertinoli to Jack Hummel for a 3. Craig takes the lead. A lot more back and forth after that. Parker Van Buren to Jack Boyle for another 3. Middleton down 2. Then check this out. Nice little pass there to Caleb Scoville. And 11th seeded Janesville Craig upsets 6th seeded Middleton 61-52. They'll face La Follette tomorrow night. Elsewhere, we've got a battle for the west side of Madison between Memorial and West. We pick it up with DeMonte Bates. Snazzy little passer to Dryden Schaefer for the Spartans bucket. And then later, Regents coming back in the form of Leander Jones. He'll drive it in for a layup. And then later, fellow West teammate Shamar Reed. He will go to the bucket as well. But a lot of Spartans, a lot of green tonight. Cade Ellingson with the ball. He'll lose it. But Quan Lewis right there to pick him back up for 2. Memorial winning big 66-50. They'll face Sun Prairie tomorrow night. We'll be right back.
Gary's here with one last check of the forecast.
Some snow moving through right now, but that should be winding down pretty quickly. You can see the back edge of the snow right about to the Mississippi River. One band of heavier snow moving through Madison right now. Take a look at visibilities. Visibility 1.5 miles in Madison, but back to 10 miles in Platteville and Mineral Point. So the snow is either ended or just tapered to flurries just out to the west. Winter weather advisory remains in effect until midnight for Juneau and Adams counties, back into the La Crosse area and up into central Wisconsin. Temperatures right now lower to middle 20s. The bitter cold really doesn't kick in until the end of the weekend. So look for a high of 25 tomorrow, but 13 for a high on Sunday. And those nighttime low temperatures between about 0 and 10 below 0, with wind chills as cold as 20 to 30 below, especially Monday and Tuesday mornings. Then a little bit of a warm up toward the end of next week. Still below normal temperatures, but maybe some snow toward Sunday of next weekend.
And Badgers, Penn State tomorrow, right?
Tomorrow at noon. Lots of traffic downtown tomorrow, so leave early. That is my message tomorrow.
Busy weekend.
Yep.
Thanks for joining us.
Do something good.